Hello, and welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I'm Justin.
I'm Darren.
And today we are going to discuss a game called A Way Out. In parentheses, Prison Break.
Yeah, not Prison Break.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it. It is a co-op game. It is made by developer Hazelight, published by EA, or Electronic Arts. We were able to play it because we did give EA Play a try.
Yeah, I'll buy that for $1.
And that's what we did, because in the early part of this year, it was $1. So we figured it was the perfect time to give it a try. And we'd been talking about this game for probably about a year, I think.
Yeah, it's ever since it came out, I think. Or maybe a year after it came out. I think it's been out since
It was
2018.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think I saw it until about a year ago, but yeah. I looked at it and went, this looks great. I definitely want to play this. I'm not sure it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, though.
Me neither.
And
I was expecting more of kind of We Were Here or something like that. Puzzles, maybe.
that's more what I was thinking. So just if you haven't played it and you're here for our recommendation, I would say it is worth playing. I don't think it's worth playing at full price, unless you really have your heart set on playing it twice and swapping roles. There are only 2 characters. There are only 2 endings.
2 choices you can make from time to time.
Yeah. It's not a lot of replayability. In fact, we started to replay it for the second time, swapping roles. And I think there was a point where we both kind of got bored, and you can just skip to chapters after you've played through it once. So
which is good.
We were able to skip to just a couple of the chapters we did want to see again.
Yeah.
But there's no real way, say, to speedrun this game because it is just so cinematic, or at least trying to be cinematic.
Yeah, that would be one of my cons, really, for it would be unskippable cutscenes. I couldn't find a way, unless there was something we both had to press, but we were never prompted to press whatever to skip, so, because there were definitely some points where I was like, I don't want to watch this part again. But yeah, the chapter selection is gold, because you can go straight to the end and just say, oh, what's the other ending like? Boom, there it is.
As for the actual gameplay, I would say it's primarily cutscenes. It is primarily a story-driven narrative with some game elements.
Yeah, it's an interactive novel, but not novel, an interactive game movie, but instead of just playing it solo, you get to play it with someone else. But it doesn't feel like you're playing with someone else. You could be playing with AI for all I know.
It does seem like that. We're going to get into that, I think, in the spoiler section. I would recommend it, especially if you're going to or already on EA Play or something like that. Give it a shot. It's worth playing, but...
Yeah, what is it, $40?
Oh, I don't think it's that much.
Isn't it? Okay.
And even if it is, it's often on sale, especially in the summer, winter. Because I was looking to buy it last time.
Yeah.
But then EA Play came about, and it was just a much better deal. Especially if it's something that you don't want to own. Or you don't need to keep it for years and years. I would say it's worth playing, especially if you have somebody that you can play with.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have to communicate at all. Like you said, you could be playing with AI for all you know, for the most part. Except for a couple things, but we'll get into that into the spoiler section. But what I would say is, they definitely tried to do something that felt different.
Yep.
And it is worth it. But don't go into it expecting it to be a puzzle game where you have to figure it out together. This isn't a Portal 2 co-op. This isn't a We Were Here. This isn't a TikTok.
Not.
This is a story-driven thing, which is primarily chosen for you.
Yeah, and at best, it's just cooperative quick-time events, more or less.
And that's probably the best way we could describe it. I think that's fantastic, yes. So be prepared that that's what you're in for, because that's not what either of us, I think, were planning on it being.
No.
But with that, I think we're hazarding very close to jumping into spoiler territory. So If you have not played it and you don't want spoilers, here's your warning.
Lights out.
Hey, go to sleep. I'm not tired, man. Hey, go to sleep. I'm just clearing my head. Hey, go to sleep. So we're in the spoiler section. I liked the game. I liked playing it. I think mostly because I was playing with you at a time where we hadn't seen each other for a couple weeks, and this was the only thing that we were doing. And it was also one of those things where we've known each other, we've played enough stuff together that I think we knew where the other person was at all times. There are times where you have to do things at the same time, and if one of us ran off to go do something, we knew they were probably looking for something else or making sure there was no secrets. And if there was random stuff to do and we both just started doing it, we knew we were in the mood for that and it was okay.
Yeah.
I could see this be the type of thing where you would totally torture somebody by either dragging that part out or jumping to the next part of the story and preventing them from messing around in those parts.
Right.
Whereas I think we had a perfect amount of
in that house, just playing the banjo. Ding-ding-ding.
We both seemed to be ready to be finished with it at the same time, but we messed around in there for it was a good half hour. I think,
was, yeah.
messing around.
We did. We just checked out everything. I kept on drawing a face on that painting, and you kept on wiping it off.
Kept erasing it. My favorite part of the game. We'll get to that, though, I think, in time.
Yeah.
Because you would like to go through it somewhat chronologically. Throughout, we will be talking about the mechanics that are implemented. Some things I want to say right up front. I think that the way they teach you how to do everything is pretty good. There was only one mechanic I had a bit of trouble with, but once I figured it out, then I understood. I think it would have been better. So the one that gave me the problem was the timed button pressing where
the horseshoe thing?
Yes, the horseshoe thing where you have to hit it at the bottom. The problem was we had to learn that together, and it would have been much better if we learned it apart and then had to do it together. Because the first time was really awkward, and I think it was made a bit more awkward because you seemed to get it first.
Right.
And then my character was oddly balanced, which seemed to oddly balance the horseshoe as well.
Yeah, because we were going up in steps, weren't we? Like,
Whereas when we were playing through that section again last night, we had zero problem.
Yeah, it was just like
we rocketed right to the top.
Yeah, and we even started at the same time. I think it was like we let it swing a couple of times. And I was like, okay, and go. Yeah. We both went at exactly the same time.
But this is something I think that is fantastic about the game. Is like you said. You don't really need to have another... Well, you need to have another person. That's the way the game works. But it's just done so well that you don't really have to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have some sort of in-game communication of point to this or do this. It's just kind of done in a way that feels like, what else would I be doing?
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect co-op game for people that don't speak the same language who wanted to play together. But I didn't find a way, or maybe it's because of the weird thing with like Origin, because we had problems even starting this game.
That was the hardest thing about the game was starting it up. We had to go back to our Origin accounts, which I don't think either of us have touched in ages.
No, because I use Origin Thin or whatever it's called, but you have to, or at least the only way we could get it working was to download like the proper full Origin client again. I don't know why it doesn't work through Steam, but
because otherwise you don't see your other friend. You have to be friends on Origin.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a problem.
It does say, though, at the bottom, it says it's got the Steam, what's it called? Not Couch Play.
Remote Play Together.
Remote Play Together. And there are discussions on the thread about how to get that to work. So I think with a little bit of magic, you can actually bypass the whole Origin thing.
Well, that's good to know, actually.
It would be good, but we just didn't have to. I think this was a long way around, but it was an easy fix for us just to put to. I had to reset my password. Yeah, so what you were saying before was it's perfect for playing together because you don't have to communicate that much. But in the game, if there's something that you both need to do, if one person finds it, they call it to the other person, like, hey, Leo, give me a hand with this. And you know that you need to do something together. It's a nice mechanic.
Well, yeah, I guess it is a mechanic. It's just not something you control. It's a mechanic that the game does on its own.
Yeah.
So it's like a hint system, but it's almost a bit too much. This game really, I didn't feel like I was figuring anything out.
No.
I feel like I was just being told what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
If this were The Room, we were on hint 5 at all times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did not feel smart playing this game. I mean, I enjoyed it for the story and stuff like that. It was good fun, and there's some good moments in it. But yeah, I expected a puzzle game. I expected a co-op puzzle game. You did too. That's why we wanted to do it for this podcast.
I don't know if I necessarily expected it to be a puzzle, say like We Were Here, but I was expecting it to be the type of thing where we might have to sneakily gather a bunch of inventory,
right?
Figure out how to make this thing work with that thing so that we could open this door and get to the next part. But it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's go ahead and get into it then. So, in the beginning, I just don't like this type of storytelling, and I really want everybody to take a break from it for a while. Which is here we are at the end of the story, or towards the end of the story.
Yeah.
We've already escaped from prison. We obviously have already escaped from prison. Ooh, will we escape from prison? Let's spend 2 hours to find out.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other big thing, actually, is just, as a whole, I thought we were going to spend a lot more time in prison.
Yeah, we got out quite quickly.
Prison is just it's the tutorial.
Prison is easy, yeah.
And then you're out. In the plane, they have a bit of banter. And then we jump back to our two characters, Vincent and Leo. Leo is already in prison. Vincent is entering into the prison. Yeah. And that's where we could see each other. Leo at the fence and Vincent down there. I think during our playthrough, I was wandering around first to see if I could escape.
See if the guards would stop you, and they don't.
Not really. The game stops you.
Yeah.
And then you walk in, you get deloused, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that was one of the hardest things I found as Vincent was, which cell is mine? I don't know. They don't tell you which one to go to.
Yeah.
But you quickly learn in the game, it will handhold you with everything and tell you where everything is. So look for the yellow dot.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yellow dot to interact. Yeah. When I played second time as Vincent, because I played as Leo the first time, I got the big nose the first time. And it was so funny playing as Vincent, because when you go up the stairs, did you try and get off at the first floor?
Yes.
He's like, keep moving on, butt cheeks. Just he cracked me up, man. But so the game is always pointing you to where you got to go. Yeah. There's no mystery.
The first actual day of prison, you're out in the yard, and this is where Leo is lured into kind of a trap, and Vincent will get just shoved in there for the sake of story.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, in real life, you'd be like, no, that's not my problem. Like, yeah, I'm not going I'm not going to check that out.
But the prison yard here is the first area where you can mess around a bit. So you can do your pull-ups, your chin-ups. You can talk to random people. I guess you could on the way in as well. Mm-hmm. You get a dialogue choice, usually of two things. Most of the time seems to lead to the same result.
Yeah.
They don't really add anything to the character or the story. There are occasional ones that do, but at this point, not really.
Yeah.
The fighting looks good, but there's not much to it.
It's very simple.
It's quick time events. It cuts sometimes where you see both people, sometimes where you zoom in on one or the other character. You're never confused as to what you should be looking at. Mm-hmm. And I do think that they do that very, very well. But the combat itself is not really combat. You're just told what to do.
Yeah, it's punch now, block now.
I was kind of hoping that this was just a tutorial and that later we would have times where we could do actual combat based on what we were learning here. This would be actually a great way to train you in the combat. But no, it's this way the whole way through. Just quick time events.
Yeah.
Leo and Vincent don't seem to get along at this point, but then there's going to be another fight in the cafeteria after Vincent can eat the same beans for about 5 minutes waiting for Leo to show up. And then they're going to end up in the hospital ward, I guess, or the sick bay. I can't remember what it would be called in the prison, but yeah, so they're basically there in the medical area. Leo sees the guy working on something. For some reason has a chisel. Seems a very weird thing for the handyman to have, just sitting there while he's working on something. Yeah. But then
his lucky chisel.
But this is where they finally get to work together. Leo will sneak out and around while Vincent has to distract the nurse. And this is one of the things that kills me about the story part of the game. Mm-hmm. Is the game will say, I think Leo will say, "Oh, Vincent needs to do something about that guard." Which you would never know in real life.
Yeah.
Because Vincent is so far away from him through 3 windows.
Yeah,
doesn't
even know where he is.
He wouldn't know where he is. He wouldn't know that he has to do something. You would have to plan this out. Which is more of what I thought the game would be, is us actually planning. But no, we're just being told what to do. So Vincent knocks on the glass, which
totally scares the police guard for some reason.
Yeah. Then Leo will go in, he'll get the chisel, he will come back. Do you have to scare him again?
No, he goes off to clean his trousers in the bathroom. He never comes back, so.
Right, because he spilled coffee on himself or something. Yeah. So then Leo has to sneak back in, done.
Yeah.
But then Leo is going to leave the chisel outside of a window, and then we're going to get work detail to go outside. And here's the first time where we're really kind of working together. We have a little bit of story where Vincent says, "Hey, I want in on your escape." And Leo says, "Oh, I don't want you," but then changes his mind that night. So he's in.
Yeah.
So here we are now in the first thing where we actually sort of have to figure something out. And I was suddenly very confused when playing this the first time.
I didn't know. I was just like swabbing the decks, man. You were the one that broke the broom. Because I could see it on my thing, like break, but I didn't know how to move it onto that. I was like, how do you do it? So I was just like, maybe you just got to keep doing it until it breaks. I had no idea.
And then if you walk around at all, you can talk to a couple of the other prisoners. Yeah. The one guy who's obsessed with the smell of tar and how good it is.
Tar, yep.
The guards don't want to have anything to do with you. There's the guy who's basically, I mean, you joked a lot about it being Shawshank, but you can kind of see it.
He's red.
Here's Red.
Yeah.
I think his name is Fred.
Yeah.
The warden, very much like Warden Norton from the movie. Even the outside of the prison looks a bit like the prison.
Even the escape is like on the lightning strikes. It's like there's so many things that are taken from Shawshank.
The way to escape this situation is breaking the broom so that the guard will go to get another one. Yeah. Leo will be assisted up to get the chisel, and then Vincent also has to distract a guard or else he gets seen.
And then for some reason just doesn't come back down the way that they came in, like break another broom, give it to the guard. It's like, no, he jumps through a window into some other room and then you got, oh, by the way, that padlock is very old if you can break it with a wooden broom handle.
None of the padlocks in this game are very good.
They're terrible. That prison needs to like redo their security for their padlocks. Whoever's supplying them needs to be fired.
The fact that we escaped at all, especially the way that we escaped, just seems too easy. But this is another time where Leo has to say, "Oh, Vincent needs to unlock the door."
Yeah. Telepathy.
Once you have it, then you go in. You have to do a bit of maneuvering as far as passing the chisel back and forth to each other so that it doesn't get seen upon inspection. And there we have our tool, but then we have to find the next thing. So one thing that I do appreciate story-wise is that they didn't make us start each thing over again.
Right.
They could have very easily had us find our escape, find that we have an obstacle, and then have to do a whole other day of boring work while we think about it, or where we have to, for example, the climbing up thing, we could have had to have done that twice. But they didn't do that, and thank goodness. So this is a case of where they could have totally padded their game time.
Right.
But it would have been a much, much worse game.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they cut out a lot of the repetitive stuff in the story. But throughout this, we're going to have to do things like steal the wrench and get that through. We're going to have to steal...
Which we totally just gunned for the second playthrough. Just like, right there.
Well, that's the thing. The second time, I thought, oh, we're just going to run through this. But the actual game is so much shorter than the story parts that there is no gunning through it.
Yeah.
We can gun through this part. We can do this really fast. Yes, you go to talk to the guy. I steal the wrench. We go right to the vent to throw it through.
Yeah.
But...
hurry up and wait.
We have to wait on the story to unfold. Yeah.
But, and the second time we didn't. There must be another solution to that room, because you can cut the power to that security thing. You must be able just to walk the wrench through it, because we never used that. We never even cut the power the second time.
No, we found that the first time though.
Yeah,
but I don't think we used it.
No, we used the vent. I think you can use the vent or the what do you call those things?
Metal detectors.
Metal detectors. Yeah. So yeah, I think we overkilled it last time, but because we didn't even switch it off this time.
It'd be interesting if there's more than one solution, because I was really feeling like there was only one solution.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we're told what we have to do.
And I think that's maybe part of the achievements, because there's a lot of achievements for this game. We only got about 3 or 4 of them. I think, yeah, we only picked up maybe a half dozen at the most, I think.
Oh, well then maybe there are other things to do that we didn't. And that would be sort of the puzzle element to it, is that there's more than one way to do stuff, but I wouldn't really want to sit through all of this all the time.
Because one of them I know for a fact, because I saw a picture of it on the Steam feed, was in the trailer park. There's a little seesaw swing thing. Mm-hmm. If you both sit on it, you get an achievement.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed, because if we'd seen that seesaw, we probably would have done it.
Yeah. I know. I think we and also for the baseball, if you hit a home run, you get an achievement. But we played baseball for quite a bit.
I got that.
Oh, did we get that one?
Well, I got it. I thought we would both get it, because most of the achievements seem to be for both of us.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we do have that one then. But yeah, there's a ton of achievements for this game. But yeah, we didn't get even a quarter of them.
Okay. As for the story, though, as it progresses very quickly, let's talk about actually escaping. So first, we use the chisel to remove the plate behind the toilet.
Yeah.
But here's my first nagging problem. You can't just move a toilet like that. Is it just a bucket under there?
Yeah.
There are pipes attached to it.
Yeah,
it will flush.
Yeah.
Yet we were able to just move the whole toilet to the side as though it doesn't do that.
Unless it's just a hole in the ground. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have pipes attached to it at all.
Yeah.
Like you could say, oh, well, the pipes aren't underneath, the pipes go to the back, maybe, but no. Like there's just nothing.
So, yeah.
He just moves it aside like it's nothing. All right, so then we use the chisel to undo the screws.
Yeah.
Which any prison would have like a special thing. It wouldn't just be like a flathead screw. It would probably be something.
Yeah, let's install something that you can undo with a dinner knife.
Right. And then we have to chisel away, and this is one of the most annoying parts of the game, because it just takes a while. Even when we knew what we were doing it very quickly, it still takes a while.
We did smash it that second time, though.
But the first time, it just took so long, and the guards would keep coming and yelling at you every, 30 seconds.
Yeah. But even that, it's like, even the distraction element, we both stopped distracting, because it just takes time. Because you only get about an extra 10 seconds, but you get 30 seconds of stupid dialogue to wade through.
And what we found was, at least I know I was doing this, I was just watching your screen.
Right.
I was expecting more you having to tell me when a guard was coming.
Yeah.
But I could just look at your screen, go, they're on their way, put everything back.
Yeah, that's why. Because I was just messing left, right, because just hoping that you would look at that. Because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that I am co-oping with you and helping you, but it just makes this part longer.
Yeah. It doesn't really help enough. And then you have to hear the awful dialogue between the guards and our characters, and it's just stupid. Yeah, second time, I'm not dealing with that ever. Only if you get caught unawares, which could have happened because the second time through we found a bit of a bug where I was Leo.
That's right. And I couldn't see your screen. I was sweating at that moment because I was like, oh, man. Yeah,
I wasn't.
What happened?
I didn't get the dot for
to
watch.
Watch.
So I was walking all around trying to find it.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. I could sort of look a little bit, but not really.
I wish I had that on. I wish I had been recording the second time we played it through, because when that failed, I don't know how I did it, but I timed it perfectly and I put it back just as the guard came around the corner. And it's like, oh, phew, okay. But luckily, again, like you said before, if you fail, we did get caught the first time because we didn't really know the rules to the situation. But it doesn't start you off at the beginning. It starts you off at like a checkpoint. Like you've got the toilet screws off, you've chiseled the bit out.
Which again, thank
Great.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, I would much rather have that than have to start that whole
chiseling
scenario
part
again.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you messed it up right at the end.
Yeah.
After I had already done mine.
And you got to do yours
and
again.
I've got to do mine again. That would be awful.
Yeah.
We escaped that little section to find, I think that's where the fan is, right? We have to work together. Mm-hmm. There's a good mechanic of working together where it tells you what button to hit.
Yeah.
And you both hold it and the circle becomes complete. Mm-hmm. We each fill our own half. And then I would hold the pipe in the way of the fan so that you could crawl through. I have to keep tapping or else it's going to chop you in half. Well, we never actually let it happen.
It would be fun to go back and just see all the deaths and all the fails because we stomped it. I mean, it's not a hard game.
No. And then...
I did let you go in that one point, though. That epic jump, I was just like, nah, I'm just going to let him fall.
You cut the power so that I could get through. And then we go, oh, this shaft is too deep. We need something. And so we're going to get a rope. Even though we could go down the... Isn't it an elevator cable that we could slide down?
I think so. I think so.
But Leo says, oh, well, there's laundry here. So that's going to give us the laundry room where we have to sneak in and...
steal sheets.
Yeah. So we took turns being the person inside the cart being pushed around. Mm-hmm. And then Leo going... well, I could really climb here if Vincent was here. Like, oh, okay, yeah. So then you have to go and unlock the door so that Vincent can get in. You have to start a fight between two guys. And yeah, it is what it is. But I don't know. I just didn't like being told what to do all the time. And just directed. But then we have the sheet so we can get down. But then we have the problem of the part we talked about before where you have to go arm in arm, locked back to back. Crawling up the side. Oh, but now we need a wrench. So then we have to do the
wrench part,
The wrench part, which the first time I kept thinking we were going to be caught, so we had to appear to be working. So I tried every machine just to look like I knew what I was doing or that I wasn't up to mischief.
Yeah.
The guards don't care.
No.
The guards in this game do not care at all. Like, he looked in the laundry basket, like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We don't even seem to have to stay for our whole shift of work. We just leave whenever we want to.
Yeah, it's a really nice prison. I'm going to take the rest of the day off.
So that leads to us finally actually properly being able to escape, because now we can undo the bolts at the top. Mm-hmm. And... I think
it takes us out onto the roof, doesn't it?
Not yet.
Not yet. No, we got to get past the guards and do the Shawshank on the lightning strikes to get through the door, don't we?
But even before that, we have to do the sewer part, right?
That's after the sheets.
Okay.
Get down the sheets, go down the sewer part, which is also pretty dumb. It's like we're separated, but you could just climb over that pipe. It's like.
But I think that they're doing this because too much so far has been together. Oh, I need to open this door. Come help me.
Them.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We need to do something that feels a bit apart. Though I did find when I was trying to do the Leo part, it's very confusing to walk around that tunnel with the flashlight.
Yeah, I had a problem. Like when you were spotting me with the flashlight and stuff, I was lost for a lot and thinking like, where am I going? Like I don't even know what I'm doing. I didn't even know you could get past those pipes, to be honest, because I didn't see the yellow dot for it. So I was wandering around there for ages. But the good thing is, once you get to a point, it doesn't actually let you go back. So I knew that, okay, I can't go back to the start. It's got to be in this little area here somewhere. Again, maybe too much hand-holding, but it saved me 10 minutes probably. So.
But we will end up on the roof. We will go back the way we did for the chisel, go through the warden's office where you can look at a globe and go, oh, Asia, I've never been there.
Yeah.
And then listen to people talk about the Johnny Carson show, which tells us how old the timeline of the game must be.
Yeah, I only got it because of the price of cigarettes. Because I looked it up and it was like, yeah, 1968. that's the time.
Well, there's also the cars.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we will make it out. We will make it to the spotlight that we have to avoid. And then we will make it to the top where we take out a guard and then zip line down on coat hangers.
Yeah.
And this is where we do the first grab, I think.
Yeah.
First saving grab. And now we scuttle through bushes where nobody can see us, miraculously.
It's very Assassin's Creed.
Except not as good.
No.
But this is, I think, the end part of this, just before the bridge, is where we have to do 2 takedowns at the same time. We've been taught this once before within the prison, but we're now doing it where we have to go around obstacles to make sure that we're timed at the same time, but without any way, I think, of indicating, let's do it now.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to have a feel for it, which the first time we played, we were on it and we just did it. And then the second time, I kept doing it early.
Yeah.
I kept getting caught for some reason.
I don't know, yeah, because we got caught 2 times on the same one, or once on one and once on the next one. Which was, I mean, good in a sense, because I wanted to kind of know what happened if you screwed it up. But now we know. Not much.
Yeah. And then we get to the bridge. This is where we get our first choice. You either steal a cop car or you crawl under the bridge.
Yeah, which seems ridiculous. But, I mean, stealing the cop car sounded ridiculous.
But I so wanted to do it the first time. We didn't, though. We went for the other one. And that's where you chimed in and say, hey, look, we'll probably play this twice, which we didn't really. But we, at that point, thought we would. Let's do all the choices to the right, and then next time we'll do all the choices to the left.
Yeah.
And I was kind of annoyed because so many of the fun choices seem to be on the left side.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I thought, because the right side choice at the bridge was Leo's choice.
No. The right was Vincent's.
Was Vincent's choice. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, let's do your choices, but then for the rest of the game, it's all Leo's choices that are on the right side. So I felt like a complete like, we're just doing everything that I want to do. It's like, was not my intention at all. But because I wanted to do all of Vincent's choices first. And yeah, but then later on, all of Vincent's choices are on the left side. Only for that one was it on the right.
That's fine. But I thought, okay, that's actually good because we'll do the boring ones first and we'll do the fun ones next time, but not really. We did do the cop car, though we went back.
We did go back and do that. Wasn't as far as I thought it was going to be, though.
No, it was okay.
It was
definitely faster.
Yeah, it was a lot faster.
That bridge part seemed to take forever.
Yeah, that was longer than the bridge part in Half-Life 2. But yeah, spoilers for Half-Life 2.
There's a bridge part.
And
it's long.
It's very long.
But yeah, so we have now escaped. I think we get a bit of cutscene.
We got to catch fish.
Yeah, that's where we both said,
we're done for the night.
It was so funny. It was so funny because I was just thinking...
Is that where we quit for the first night? Yeah.
I was just thinking, I don't want to do those fish again. That fish was it's just such a pain. It was so difficult.
Mashing the button. I eventually got one just by luck, I think. I think you did as well.
Same thing. And then, you have to have the other person come in and splash the water to keep it away. And the thing is, it's a lot of story development and kind of character development because of the cutscene after that with the discussion at the fire.
Right.
But the actual doing it isn't that fun. But no, I think it was... Between those things is the thing we do need to talk about, which is running away from the dogs.
Yeah.
And then both times we played, didn't matter what character I was the one stuck being bitten by a dog and then having to leap over the chasm for you to magically catch me and pull me back up.
That's not how physics works either, man. That is not how physics works. You would have, your ribcage would be absolutely smashed to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, Vincent's not exactly the Hulk.
I mean, you're falling down into a cliff. It's like, yeah, no, that's not how it works, man. It's like the grappling hook in Just Cause, when you can, like, if you're falling out of an airplane, you can aim your grappling hook at the ground and then zip line towards the ground and you just land on your feet like nothing happened. Come on.
So this will take us, to the kind of boring part in the woods where we need to figure out what to do next. We talk a bit about what Harvey did to both of our characters.
Right.
Vincent, even in the prison, there's the scene with Leo and Linda. Yeah. She shows up. We get a bit of them, and Vincent, his wife Carol, does not show up, and he tries to call her, and she's not happy, and we are getting bits of those little things. I still don't feel like I really know these characters.
Yeah.
I feel like we're being told all these things about them. Vincent has a wife who's pregnant, and she's unhappy, and Linda and their son Alex are living in a trailer. And even though Leo has done crime and he's been essentially like a bad guy, Alex doesn't know, and Linda will love Leo no matter what. These seem to be the things that we've been told, and that's kind of about it. One thing I will say about the dialogue, some of it I find irksome. Vincent, for the most part, actually, the voice actor and what he says, I'm pretty okay with Vincent. He does have one thing he says, though, that really bothers me, and he says it a couple times, and that is, like, he killed my own brother. Well, who else's brother did he kill? If you say my brother, I think what they did is they probably watched some things like The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 and some classic crime and mafia stuff where they say those things to accentuate it, but it just feels wrong here. It doesn't seem to fit. When you're saying something like, my own brother, that's when they've betrayed you or disappointed you in some way. When you say, he killed my brother, you don't have to say he killed my own brother.
No, he killed someone else's my brother.
My biological brother.
Yes.
No, you don't have to say that. You just don't. And so that does bother me. Leo sometimes just says such stupid stuff.
And here's one thing, right? This is weird. I liked Vincent's voice acting. He's trying to do a Bryan Cranston for me. That was, I mean, even his model, the beard, the face, he just really reminded me of Walter from Breaking Bad. Yeah, I didn't like Leo that much, to be honest.
No, and especially towards the end. But let's get into the next part, which after we did the campfire, is that when we go to see Leo's wife and Alex?
We have to do the river run before that.
Is that before that?
The rafting.
That's a disaster. I would rather just skip that altogether as well. It doesn't make any sense. When you're doing whitewater rafting like that, especially, I mean, it's not really whitewater rafting, but these kind of rapids and quick flowing river water, for the most part, you let the river take you.
Yeah.
You're not trying to row fast enough to move to the side. You're using, especially the person in the back, at least the way that I've done it, would be more using the paddle as a rudder to help steer.
To try and keep you going straight and not sideways down it, yeah.
But that didn't seem to work when I was doing it. It seemed like I had to paddle quickly on the side I need to move the opposite away from. Which, yeah, that is how water navigation works, but there's another way, which is the rudder way, which it didn't let me do.
Yeah, because water won't naturally flow you into the rocks in the middle. It'll take you around them. Like,
yeah, it seemed to be aiming us right towards the rocks. And it was a durability too on the boat, right?
Yeah, because we failed the first time. No surprise. Because sometimes you ding it and it's like, oh, you get a little bit. But sometimes if you just scrape it for a length, it's like, oh, there's half your health gone. Like, yep, we're screwed.
Right. Okay. So we start off by, I think, going to see Linda and Alex.
That's right, in the trailer park.
In the trailer park.
Yeah. Oh, and the best game of basketball ever. Yeah.
So first off, we have to find where they are because we don't know where they are. I ended up talking to some woman who knew her husband was cheating.
Yeah.
And confronted him about it and then told her about where he was. He's literally in the next trailer over having sex with this other woman.
Yeah.
Within earshot and practically eyesight of where his wife is. We got an achievement for that.
Yeah.
We played baseball. We missed out on the seesaw. Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't really play. It was just you throwing a ball and me hitting it. We swapped places.
They got a lot of balls, man, those guys.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
Nobody... They must be rich because nobody bothers to go get them.
Yeah,
either.
yeah, exactly.
We then, at the house, well, the trailer, we have Linda, the loving wife, and Alex. And Alex, as we've been told, doesn't really know what Leo is in for or where he is. He's apparently helping his cousin out in Italy or something.
Yeah, but he sees him in the newspaper as on the run.
Later. Yeah. At this point,
No, before.
Was it before this part?
Yeah.
Where they have that grocery convenience store scene?
Yeah.
with the entire row of one type of cereal?
Yeah, yeah. That's all we've got.
Right. So that's why he has to talk to him about it.
He runs away
I
from
forgot
him.
about that, yeah. And while he's running away, Vincent can play with the dartboard or
fix a motorbike or something
help
like that?
fix the motorbike that Linda's having trouble with. Leo has a heart-to-heart with his son, and then Vincent shows up, and we all play the worst game of basketball I've ever seen in my life on a rim that's about 4 feet high, which I have to help Alex by picking him up so that he can slam dunk in it. And there's no real good way to pass the ball.
It was really hard.
you can go to pass the ball and it will totally miss both people.
Yeah, it just flies away. Someone's got to go and get it.
It's more a game of go capture the ball or go get it back from wherever it flew so that you can get it back to the actual game.
Yeah.
That was pretty terrible. And then to make matters worse, the dialogue has Vincent say, "Oh, you should go pro" or something. Everything about this game is terrible. None of you three should go pro. But then that's going to lead us to... Is it the construction yard that we have to go to next? Oh, no, we missed our favorite part, though.
What's that?
The part where we get the truck. We need to make sure that we talk about this part.
Oh, yeah, that's in the farmyard. That was way back.
Yeah, but we've missed over it. So, let's talk about that. The two choices: release the horses, which we tried in our second playthrough. It's okay.
Yep.
It's
Makes
kind
sense.
of quicker. Or subdue the old couple, which the first time we did, but boy, was it confusing to get the timing and everything right on that one. But we got it. And then this is the house where we had probably the most fun. And I would say that I think one is because we were playing together. We have a kind of similar mindset, and we were in a similar mindset at that time.
Yeah.
If this was a time where one of us was really anxious to get the story done and to move on, it wouldn't have been so fun. But we were in a mood to just kind of goof around at this point. And boy, did they let us. We got to try on hats.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a rhythm game with the banjo and the piano, which I think are actually the same button combinations. But
it's hard, man.
It becomes almost impossible after about 10 or something.
I mean, I'm not musically inept either, but there just seemed to be no rhythm there at one point. It's like, in the beginning, yeah, but it just loses the rhythm completely.
Well, and then there's a lot of... On the controller, it's like A, X, Y.
Right.
And they're happening not one after the other, but one and then a half of another one.
Right, yeah.
This is not how rhythm games work. So, no. But you got really far on the piano one. I was impressed how far you got. At first I was like, oh, well, this must be easy. I'm going to get further than him. And then I tried it a couple times, but I'm done with this one. You were drawing a mustache on the picture, and I was erasing it. And We both washed some dishes.
That's right.
The least we could do for the old couple.
Cook some sausage.
After we locked them in the
I locked
closet.
them in the closet.
And then...
Yeah, we cooked some sausage. What else did we do?
Horseshoes.
Watched some TV, played some horseshoes, which I sucked at.
Yeah.
You were really, again, when you did that, I was like, this is going to be easy. And then I was like, I can't even hit the back of the board.
It was so funny. The way this game worked is we seemed to be, where like, you could do the piano really well up to about 40, and I could only get about 10. But horseshoes, I was crushing it, and you're like, I don't get how it works. It was a real 50-50 for those kind of things. But yeah, I think though, why I love this part so much is just, this is the only part of the game where we really had agency.
And I think that's maybe part of their development plan as well, because the prison was, well, it was a prison, so everything was very tight. But now you're out into the world and you've got, like you said, you've got agency, you can do what you want. And it was nice to just like relax for a bit and just mess around.
Yeah. Well, as well, because up to that point and then going forward, pretty much we're going to be told exactly what to do, when to do it, and everything is going to be timed.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have these moments of, let's take a break for a minute.
Mm.
But then we had to put the truck together, which was kind of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of going around the barn for the different things.
Yeah.
Kind of figuring out as well, I think, some of the elements before we could actually do them.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the tire iron before we could actually use it.
Yeah.
And then I left it upstairs. And now I've got to go back up for it.
Yeah, and you left it on a really awkward position. It was like stuck to the side of the air, basically.
I did that because I was doing the
Getting
grab
on
the
that.
crane to get dragged across.
Yeah.
And so I just dropped it where I was because I couldn't do both.
Yeah.
Even though we could clearly grab somebody falling off of a cliff in midair, no problem. I can't hold one thing in one hand and myself in another for 30 seconds.
Yeah. That's just impossible, Justin. That's madness. What are you talking about?
But that was, I think, for both of us, that was probably the best part of the game, and it was the least to do with the actual game.
Yeah, exactly.
But the basketball game is just the opposite, where I felt like I was forced to do it, and we had freedom to do what we wanted with the basketball game, but it was terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was bad.
So that leads to where we have to chase somebody through the construction yard, right?
So basically, we get the truck, and then after a lot of hairy moments in that truck, we died a lot on that head-on collision.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because isn't that where
I'm shooting out the back
and I'm trying to drive?
You're driving, which I kind of wanted to play. We probably will. I'd like to get back around to playing it again and try the other side because I want to see how hard the driving is. Because the shooting was ridiculous, man.
The driving isn't too difficult. They do an interesting thing where you have multiple paths to choose from. Okay. So you could do one that ramps up over something to a jump. You have...
I like the bikes at the end.
It's very similar to that, yeah.
Right,
so
okay.
You've experienced kind of what it's like. But doing it the first time, I didn't know what I was doing, where I was supposed to be going.
And it's my job to shoot the cars because the cars kind of block us in. And if we get caught, it's my fault. And so what was the problem with the head-on collision part? Why was that hard? Because we died about 3 times in that bit.
Oh,
and I ragdolled out the back of it, yeah.
What he's talking about is a time where the road is under construction, so there's only half a road, and that's right towards the end. And you have to, as the driver, you have to peel to the right just before the truck crashes into you head-on. I was having a bit of trouble navigating exactly when I could turn right or how much I could turn right, because I don't think it would let me go over the traffic cones.
No. Okay.
So I had to get it just right. I had to be to the right side, because if I was in the middle and then tried to pull it right, the game said, no, that's not enough. So then it would just make us have to do that part again. But again, did a good job of just at the head-on collision part.
Starting.
So we didn't have to start over from the beginning, which would have been awful.
Yeah.
All right. So the construction yard, let's get into that. Where we started off by talking to some people, but then we had the most epic arm wrestling match of all time, which just I was dying laughing. Because one, it's so stupid. There's just so many times where we were doing these kind of things. Like, we've got the old couple tied up in the house. Let's play some music.
Yeah.
When clearly we should just be trying to get out of here as quickly as possible. And this is another time where we should be focused on our mission. But, let's stop and arm wrestle each other. And then it's just a series of mashing a button. Right?
Yeah.
It's not even a quick time event. It's just hit this button over and over as quickly as you can, and the person who pushes it the most will win.
Yeah.
But we were so evenly matched for so long, but we clearly both wouldn't give up.
That was the thing, man. I wish I had a camera on me, actually, at that point, because it was funny, man.
I was dying laughing, so I'm like, I'm not going to give up until he gives up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going. But I think I eventually lost because I was laughing too hard, and I just couldn't. I couldn't keep the button going anymore.
It's hard, man. On a keyboard as well. That's not suited for a keyboard.
How long did we try? It was like 2 minutes,
It must have been, man. Because there's bits, I'm like this, I'm just like, and my arm was tensing up so much. That's going to be terrible. So I'm just like, and then my arm was just tensing up. So I had to change to the other arm. I'm doing left-handed.
You know what? I think that might have been what got me, because I think I was also like, my finger was getting tired. So I tried to switch fingers, and that's when you got me.
Because yeah, I was just, and I've got a mechanical keyboard as well. It's terrible for that. You know, if I had my old laptop, it was just like the soft touch keys, man, I would have killed it. But yeah, I was like, keyboard and mouse wins. I did it for the PC Master Race. But yeah, that was good fun. But I expected to arm wrestle those guys. I didn't think it was going to be us versus each other. But they have a lot of cool games like that. The darts one was funny, where we both just, I threw a 180. I was like, beat that, Justin. You just come along and boom, 180. Like, all right, we're done.
We can't do better than that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a quick game of darts. But yeah, those kind of games where you can like play. Yeah, they've got a lot of that where you can like
These
get scores against each other.
Mini games.
Yeah, it's good fun.
But story-wise, we're there to find somebody who might know where Harvey is.
Yep.
So we have to do a ridiculous Mission Impossible Born Supremacy style gauntlet through the cranes
all of a
and
sudden
things
I know how
that
to
are
work
moving.
a crane. Like,
as it's moving, we eventually catch up to the guy. We torture him with a variety of things because
I forgot about that part. That's so funny as well.
I'll torture you with your wallet. I never did get to pick up the wallet. I think I was supposed to look up some information in there, but we ran out of
time, I think.
Because he gave up the information.
Yeah, because he drilled a hole in his kneecap, I think.
So we did that, and then
the gas station I liked because I felt there was a puzzle element there, because we failed the first time, and it's like, there's multiple things happening at the same time. This guy's trying to call the cops. This guy leaves the shop and tells the cops. The woman is trying to get a gun from under the counter. There's 3 things going on. There's only 2 of us, so it's like we got to manage the situation, which is kind of cool because it felt like it was actually a proper heist.
That's true. So I guess if we'd had more of that, it just felt so fast and easy that we got it on the second try.
We got it on the second try because we knew, okay, he's calling the police. You got to shut him down. Don't let that guy leave the store. As soon as that woman went down for the gun, I was on top of her immediately because what we were doing was like, this is a game. Let's explore, and we weren't paying any attention to them the first time. But the second time, I'm like, okay, this is like more like proper heist. Okay, bam, bam, bam.
The game does do a good job of showing you that because it shows you the guy who ran away talking to the police.
Yeah.
So that's where we missed it.
Yeah.
And so we can get that next time. If we'd had more of that, I think I would have liked the game a bit more. If it was more, we need to figure it out. So then we have money. We go to the gun range. We get to try out different guns, but we can't have the same gun.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Because I think we both would have taken the shotgun.
Yeah, the shotgun was absolutely kick-ass, man.
But we got to play a game of throwing a bottle, and the other person tries to blast it out of the air.
Yeah. Which
was difficult. I found it more difficult than you did.
Again, mouse, much easier to track. But yeah, what was it? The shotgun was king, for sure. But you took the single bolt rifle.
Yes.
Did that work well? Was that all right?
It's always the problem with any sort of first-person shooter. I mean, I know this isn't first-person, but it sort of had that feel to it during the shooting parts. A rifle, for the most part, is good, but it's slow, and it only really works if the map is set up for distance.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to be the sniper, and I like to have my distance and have a location and be taking people out. And so there were parts where it worked and parts where it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The shotgun, its problem is always that it's too short of a range, so you need to run right up on people. But most of this felt like it was more suited to a shotgun and coming up close than to the distance. But there were times where I got it to work, so it was fine. But I think if I'd had my choice, we both would have had a shotgun.
Yeah.
Then we go to outside the theater, I think. And this is where Vincent's going to call for the airplane.
Yes.
And he's also going to find out that Carol is having her baby, so he wants to go there. Vincent is going to harass some young couple about their romance.
Yeah. But yeah, so, just before we go to the hospital, we have to deal with the worst hitman in existence, who basically can't fire a straight shot. It's just that whole part was. I mean, the only good thing that came of that hitman situation was that we both got to strangle him together. I was like, yeah, teamwork. That whole part felt really, I don't know, forced and just a bit silly, really.
Well, you can say that about a lot of the game, I think.
But I did feel betrayed by that girl. It's like, man, come on, we just bought guns off of you. There's no honor among thieves. No, evidently not.
Not in this game.
Yeah.
In the hospital, I found the hospital at first to be very confusing. I didn't really seem to know where I was supposed to go or what I was supposed to be doing, so I started just talking to random people for a long time.
That we should have maybe explored that more. I felt like there was more to do there. There's the Connect 4 is there.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We played that. Played that. But I felt like that time, I felt that we were just like, let's just push through. Because I think at that point it was getting late because we kept on saying, okay, we'll do this part and then we'll be done. Like, oh, all right, we'll just get this part done and then we're definitely done, okay?
Yeah. So I do think we were kind of getting to that point. But also I wasn't really sure where I was supposed to be going, what I was supposed to be doing. It didn't take long. I mean, this is not like I was lost for an hour. I was lost for a minute, 2 minutes going, oh, where am I supposed to get on the elevator to go up to the maternity ward? Am I supposed to find the stairs? You talk to reception and they basically tell you what to do. And then Leo also told me what to do. Thanks.
Yeah.
I found the maternity ward from this sign. It's on the 10th floor.
Giant sign, yeah.
Once there, Carol is still upset with Vincent. There's really no change there, so it didn't really help progress the story along. I didn't feel like we're going to have to escape. Escaping from the hospital it just felt like one of the more ridiculous parts of the game, where we were cutting to each other. We were always seemingly like just a few feet from each other.
Yeah, like through a wall or something like that, yeah.
Even though we were running on our own, trying to find our way out.
I liked the hospital part because it was a bit different and it wasn't really a part of a game. It was more of a cinematic experience, wasn't it? Like even you probably saw on my screen, but I had that whole like kind of old boy fight. That was awesome, man. That was a lot of fun because you basically, what is it he pulls out? Like, it's like a candle, not a candlestick. It's like is it a lamp or something like that, I think. And he's just like, it's like, and it goes to like side screen. It's the hallway scene from Old Boy, basically. And just like, guards are coming in and you're just like bashing them in the face with this lamp. And it was a lot of fun. It was. But actually escaping at the end was totally ridiculous. Like, I should be dead.
I think that's part of the problem, though. My character playing as Vincent, I didn't get to do any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I was crawling along the edge outside of the building, breaking into another room. I was trying to sneak around a staircase so they wouldn't see me. I had to go to the lobby and sit in a chair so no one would notice me. That's right. And then walk away, which I had a lot of trouble doing.
You did, yeah. Because even the second time I was like, it's over there, the yellow dot, Justin, the yellow dot.
Well, the first time I thought, okay, I'll talk to the receptionist so I look like I'm actually there and mingling. Yeah. I mean, that's an Assassin's Creed type of thing to do.
Right.
I'm going to blend in.
Plain
But
sight
no,
hiding.
I have to blend in by just sitting down over here alone, having just walked into the room,
Yeah.
and then leave again before the cop notices me.
Yeah.
They have this little triangle of noticing, which was going up, going up. Well, am I supposed to sit here and look like I'm not up to anything? Or should I leave and make him more suspicious? Apparently leaving was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think then, is this where I had to
I
drive?
get caught, you get...
I drove like a car into them?
Yes.
And then we're going now to... We finally are back, right? We're on the airplane in
the hangar.
Oh, that's right, because we have to find all the stuff in the hangar.
Find my logbook. Have you found my logbook yet? Where's my logbook? Hey, guys, I need my logbook. Yes, shut up.
We know, we're trying to play a game of darts, or what was that? It was like Grenade Brothers or something? Some awful...
Oh, that was terrible, that game. Jesus. I was like, yeah, this would be really fun. It's dire, man.
Is that a real arcade game, or did they make it for this?
I hope that
I never heard of this game, and I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's like Pong, but worse. Like...
This is Pong 3, when the whole series had gone off the rails.
Yeah, it was dire. Absolutely dire.
Yeah, we have to put all this stuff together in the hangar so that we can fly out, and now we're finally kind of caught up to the beginning.
Right.
Leo tells Vincent to write a letter to Carol because that's going to make everything better. But I do think this is the part where I don't know if it was said before, if this is the part, but I do like Leo and Linda's backstory, that they kind of grew up in the same orphanage and always had each other's backs and were always family, because that actually does explain a lot about why she won't give up on him even though he's doing some terrible stuff.
Yeah.
At Harvey's, we run around shooting a bunch of stuff. It's okay, but again...
Yeah, it's like, we want to be Max Payne, but we're not.
Yeah, and again, it just feels like we're on rails again.
Yeah.
We have to go through this way. You can choose to go left or right, but there's not a lot of choice. The combat, the shooting isn't that exciting. We get to Harvey, and he offers us that diamond that he betrayed Leo over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I can't remember at this point, do we get a chance to see who shoots him? I think that was it, wasn't it? Like, let this person shoot.
Someone like that. Yeah, that's
because
right.
I don't think there was a choice to let him live.
No. But yeah, I think you put the gun to his head, and I was watching that. But then after you shoot, then I shoot, and we just painted the room with his face. It was so funny. I was just like, I don't know how many bullets that guy took in his face, but it was just like his face is just like a red ketchup stain. Very, very Scarface ending for him.
Well, and he tried to be Scarface. Everything about him screamed, "I want to be Scarface." Yeah. But you're not Scarface.
Yeah. Does he not? Did he say hello to my little friend?
He says something like that.
It was, yeah, when he breaks out that grenade launcher or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so we shoot him off the balcony into the pool. And do we have to escape again? Oh no, of course we do, because we got that epic bike chase thing where we're doing like motocross in the air.
We're both on a bike. There's one part that was really neat where just our cutscenes combined.
Yes.
As one of us was
going over the
over top of the other one. It looked great and it fit well. It felt like it was natural as far as the story combined into this, 2-second cutscene. It was really good visually and game-wise. I was like, actually, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be like, oh, I hate this game at that point. I want choices, and I felt like I wasn't really being given choices. But that did feel really good. Yeah. I enjoyed that. We're going to get to the plane just as it's taking off.
That's right. We launch to jump into a moving plane. Yeah.
And then comes the part of the story... I'm not sure how you felt about it. This is what we really need to talk about. We've kind of held off on some of this until today. We land. The police are there. We find out that the whole time, Vincent's been an FBI guy undercover. Correct? Okay. Where I thought the story was ending. Now, throughout the whole game, I was expecting Leo to betray him. And
Right.
I was waiting for it the whole time. So they did fool me by it being Vincent betraying him.
Mm-hmm.
But also, at this point, I went, oh, maybe we're not going to have the betrayal and player versus player that I thought we were going to. They've just set up a way out too.
Right.
We go back to prison and we have to figure a way out. And I was like, actually, I'm okay with that.
I thought the same. I thought that this is where the game ends. We go back to prison and it's Prison Break Season 2.
And they can make some improvements. They can do some more interesting things with it. Okay, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
But that's not the way they went.
Nope.
Vincent is the undercover FBI agent who is after Harvey for killing his brother.
His own brother.
Because his own brother was
He's also an FBI agent.
An FBI agent
Undercover.
And that's where he got shot. So the scene from Leo before, where we see him betrayed, is where that brother got shot. I do like that there's that connection. But then we have, out of all the ridiculous things, I think the most ridiculous part of the game here, where Leo is going to run, Vincent is going to chase after him. Nobody else, the plane was surrounded by flashing lights. Nobody else is going to come. So it's just going to be Vincent versus Leo. Yep. Okay, fine. I was expecting this. It's not where I wanted. I actually wanted it to stop.
Yeah.
But here it is. We run through different scenes and different maps of having to shoot at each other.
I hated this part. Absolutely hated this part.
I'm so glad you said it because I did too. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? What is the point of this? There were plywood barriers that I could shoot.
Yeah.
And once I shot that away, I could shoot you. I think I was kind of up on health at one point. And then there's a part where you're, as Leo, we're kind of stuck at the low ground.
I came around a corner and just like pumped like 3,000 rounds of ammunition into you. And it's like, yeah, you're still alive. And then we got the whole on this ground kind of punching each other's bits of health away.
Even before that. So that's the thing. You have the distance shooting in the map. You've got the distance shooting from a higher level.
Yeah.
You have the running around pillars on the roof top. And then when we're both bashed up, that's when we have the who can push the button the fastest to win.
Oh, by the way, just rewind.
Yeah.
The part when you're chasing me in the helicopter. Yeah. Of course I was watching your screen. They should not include split screen in that bit, because I was just like, where's Justin aiming? Okay, I'm going, did you notice how hard it was for you to hit me? Yeah, because I was watching your screen.
This goes back to screen cheat, which we talked about before. Yeah.
It was so easy. They should remove that, because or maybe it would make it too hard, but I don't think it matters anyway. That's the point. It's like this, at least they're not telltaling it away like, oh, your choices matter. They're just like, but they don't really.
But the fact that the choices don't matter does remind me of Telltale. And I was really thinking that a lot when I was playing this game. Is this feels like a Telltale game.
Yeah.
A more advanced one, but each map, you have to do one thing. Here's your objective. Do it.
But they're not
Move
in
to
your
the
face
next
saying,
thing.
you're a terrible person for doing this.
That is true. There were some things that they didn't do, but the story being so much on rails and just do this one thing and not really being puzzle elements or even like really thinking elements. Yeah. But the worst comes here at the end, where I could have totally crushed you. You could be down to 0 health and you could still win the game because you hit the button faster and got to the gun. Yeah.
What I did notice was that when we replayed it twice, because I hadn't recorded it,
it swapped health.
Yeah, so it just shows you this does not matter. But what I did notice the second time was, because the first time I was up on health and you were down, and I mashed the E key to get to the gun, and I was a lot faster. I felt faster. I can't compare it to you, because you were just like, just go for it, just pick up the gun and shoot me.
Because we wanted to see the other
ending. But the second time when I recorded it, my health was the one that was low, and when I was hitting the E key, I wasn't moving as quickly. So it kind of matters who has done the most damage before.
So it gives you an advantage.
It does.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah. But it's still only prolonging the inevitable anyways. It's still dumb, basically.
Story-wise, you've just spent way too much time on this fight between the two of us that doesn't matter game-wise.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a waste of time. And I was so glad to skip that when we did the playthrough again.
Yeah, because you go
just to
right
see
to the end, man. You go right to the final
right
choice.
to the button mashing.
Yeah.
And there is no choice. And this is again, something that bothers me. We have 2 endings, and as far as we know, we've looked it up, there are only 2 endings.
Well, we've got them now.
Depending on who gets the gun first.
Yeah, and it's not even like, I mean, come on, you've been, okay, you're a police officer. This guy is a witness. You wouldn't shoot him in the chest. You would shoot him in the arm. You would shoot him somewhere non-lethal. But you aim dead center for your heart.
No choice. We aren't given a choice, yeah.
You know? And I don't think Leo would kill Vincent that way. So which ending do you want to talk about? What first, the bad one or the really bad one?
Oh, well, I'll give you a dealer's choice here. You said the bad ending or the really bad ending. I think maybe let's talk about the bad ending first.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're saying Vincent's ending?
Yeah.
Vincent's ending is just boring.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you'd expect it to be, and that's it. It does finish the story, I guess, but it's stupid because he's killed Leo when he didn't need to.
Yeah, absolutely didn't need to.
He then tells Linda about it, we assume. We don't actually get to hear that conversation.
Yeah, so were they divorced or separated or something then? Is that what the story was? Because he's like, can I come in?
No, okay. Linda is...
Oh, sorry, yeah, I meant...
So first he's got to go talk to
That's right, he talks to Linda and tells her...
And Linda's in tears on the floor.
I shot your husband, yeah.
And then he goes to see Carol and says, oh, I resigned, and here's the letter proving it.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice day. She's like, oh, do you want to come inside?
Mm.
I love how she says, I named her Julie. Like, oh, did we decide on that? Did we not ever once contemplate what the name might be together in all this time?
Yeah, it's a beautiful name. It's like that, but I mean, the thing is as well, that means nothing to me. Like, it was never mentioned in the story. Why even put that in there? It's so dumb. When he said that, I was just like, that is dumb. Like, I don't care.
We then see Linda and Alex crying at Leo's grave.
Yeah.
End of story.
That is it, isn't it? That's how it ends. Yeah. Actually, maybe the other ending isn't that bad, but it is that bad. Because, yeah.
You really took offense to it.
I did. I took great offense to this. And maybe I'm out of order. But you murdered someone, and you murdered a father and an FBI agent.
No, not you. Leo.
Well,
Leo murdered. Yeah,
but you know me. I take these things personally. I put myself in.
I know. But so if you're gonna do that, then say I, because I was Vincent the first time.
Oh well, yes. I mean you as in you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It made it sound like I was. It's gonna be confusing for them.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I have then murdered, or Leo has murdered Vincent, and I am not happy with that. Because I'm not a bad person, and I wanted another option to...
And we tried desperately to move the cursor anyway else.
Yeah, and yeah, even if you let go of the thing, it just rewinds time almost, back and forward, like scrubbing through frame by frame. And then bam, so you pull the trigger.
It doesn't even let you do a headshot. You have to do a chest shot.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to make me evil, then let me go all out. And yeah. So Vincent gets the 21 gun salute, his crying wife, and then Linda's just like totally cool with this. And then they drive off into the sunset as heroes, or not heroes, but it just felt wrong, man.
Leo does leave the letter that he wrote.
Yeah, to add insult to injury. He really does not have to do that, but he's like, no, you know what? We'll be good. I'll make a widow cry even more. That is wrong. I hated that ending. And because I don't like being a bad person. That's not why I play video games, man. It's not. And Leo is irredeemable as a character. He wasn't, but now he is. And that's just the worst ending possible for me.
I think that this game, if we're to start summing up, I think that it was interesting in the fact that it did feel original. The way the co-op worked. Mm-hmm. Where you basically were told what to do in a way that guided you, that scaffolded you, that made it so you didn't really have to communicate to make it work. It worked really smoothly for that. It let you restart with very little iteration time. If you missed catching me when falling because you did it on purpose last night, you start right at the jump again.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You don't have to start back very far. You have the mini games, which are fun, but actually kind of stupid. It's not like we would enjoy playing these games in another context. We enjoy it because it's a break from what we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
The cinematic stuff, visually, the way it was animated, did look much more I mean, cinematic is the right word for it. They were definitely trying to have that feel. The split screen stuff worked very well so that we could see what the other person was doing, who they were interacting with. Like, that worked very well. But for me, the fact that it is just I guess I would say an interactive story as opposed to an actual game.
Yeah.
It's not quite what I was looking for. I was looking for more like a better visual version of The Escapists, I think, where you have to gather materials and work together or communicate with each other. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of a sandbox style prison escape game.
Yeah, I expected more communication, more like finding stuff, and maybe even more fights, more survival, prison survival kind of stuff. It's a very linear, on the rails, just go here, push X, you're done. Like, enjoy the cutscene.
And that's kind of the problem with it for me. I play games so that I can have choice, so that I can have power to do things that I can't do in the normal world. This one, it just felt like I was being told what to do all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure how I feel about playing another game like this.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because they do have another game coming out, and it's called It Takes Two. Did you see this?
I did not.
It looks like this one might be more puzzle, kind of friendly, I guess. It definitely looks like there's more of a puzzle element to it. But yeah, so that comes out, well after. It's probably already out by now. So,
by the time this podcast goes up, that game will already be out.
On sale.
Will we have, it might even be on sale by the time this comes out. Will we have played it? Probably not yet, because we're probably going to wait for a deal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
well, if it comes out at EA Play for $1, I'll be straight back in.
Then we may jump back in, yeah. We may jump back in, but I'm just not sure how I feel about this. I want to like this game, but I
had fun with it. I liked it.
I did have fun with it, but in the end, looking back on it, I don't feel the same as I felt playing it.
Right.
I don't have a lasting good feeling about, oh wow, I got to do this and I got to do that. It seems...
Yeah, there's nothing really memorable about it.
It seems like a low budget movie.
Yeah.
And one that I didn't really enjoy the story for. So, I don't know. I think I like this style of experience, and I might do it on the cheap just for the experience. But it's not a fun game overall. It's not a game.
It's not a game. Yeah, exactly.
Would you recommend this to other people? I think would be the big question.
On sale, yeah. And it would come with a few caveats, as I'd say. A, very limited replayability. It's definitely a once or twice and done game. Twice at the most for me, definitely. I'd play it one more time with you. I would like to see the parachute jump, which we didn't get to do because we had to stick to my stupid rule, which is take all the choices on the right. But yeah, I would play it again. I would maybe chapter select again with you. I don't know if I'd play the whole thing again, but I would.
No, because I definitely don't want to do that fishing part again.
Maybe we could just skip past that part. But yeah, I mean, if you're into something cinematic, I'd say for people that did enjoy Telltale games, if they're into that kind of stuff, this is probably something that you would enjoy, but maybe not as even as limited and as pointless as the Telltale decisions are. This one's even more pointless.
I would say equally. At least, as you said, this one doesn't
make you feel bad.
Bad about
like, here's
having
choice
a bad
A,
history.
B, and C, and D. Like, would you like to kill your wife, kill your husband? What? That doesn't make any sense. Kill your wife, kill your children, kill your grandparents, or kill your dog. Oh, you killed someone?
Dog.
Oh,
your son will remember that.
Yeah, your son will remember that. But yeah, so yeah, it would come with a fair few caveats, but it's not a terrible game for sure. Definitely.
No, I would agree with you on that, and I think that the Telltale analogy works very well. I think one of the biggest problems with recommending this game is it is a co-op game.
Right.
You have to recommend it for someone who has somebody else to play it with, because I'm not playing it again. And it was an okay experience with some very goofy fun parts, some really kind of stupid mechanical parts and story parts. Overall, it was okay. But okay is not enough for me to go, oh, great, I can't wait to play it 2 more times with somebody else.
Right, exactly. Like, at least with We Were Here, the puzzles change and there's at least some replay. I would play We Were Here with someone else.
And I would play it again a couple years down the line when we've forgotten how some of them work.
I mean, even for games that don't change, like how many times have you played the Portal co-op, you know?
Yes. And that's the thing. I love playing Portal 2 co-op. I've played it with 3 different people where I said, hey, let's play it. First time, I had to be there figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
The other times, I'll let you lead.
Yeah.
I've played it before. I'll help you when you get stuck. And that's great. Like, that's a lot of fun. Plus, just the Gladys story elements work really well and are very funny. This doesn't have that.
No. Definitely not.
So I think that this could work, but I think that the story would have to be more original, more interesting for me to really love it as a game type.
And if we're going to do the Hishy, how it should have ended, let Leo go. Please, like, have that third option. Like, just
have a third option where we both get to live, because that's what we both wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want anyone to die. And yeah, not once, but twice.
At least there. I think that if there was ever going to be a time where we should be given a choice, it should be there at the end.
Right.
And without it, it's missing what makes a game a game.
Well said. Yep. Gaps filled and more gaps created.